Am I leaving New Zealand and going back to England? The answer is yes. I recently left that job and I've started a new job. Have I made any friends? Hi guys, welcome back to the Shackles of Debt. My name is Tembi, and if this is your first time here, then welcome, welcome, welcome. If this isn't your first time here, then hey, how you doing? On this channel, I talk all about money. I also talk about life here in New Zealand. So today I'm going to be giving you a major life update. I'm going to tell you about how the last 10 months here in New Zealand have been going. I'm going to talk about my work. I'm going to talk about money. I'm going to talk about my life. I'm going to talk about travel and just everything else in between, and like making friends, keeping friends. Am I leaving New Zealand? Am I staying? What's going on with my visa? And so much more. So stay tuned for that and get comfortable. I've got my coffee here because I'm recording this. It's like 6 a.m. right now and I just want to go back to bed, but this coffee is gonna stop me from doing that, hopefully. And I've written down all the stuff I want to talk about here. So don't mind me actually if I keep looking downwards. So let's get into it. So first of all, a brief recap of everything up until now. So I arrived here back in August last year. So I came in on a critical purpose work visa because back then the borders were closed, but if you were like a New Zealand citizen or whatever, or if you had a job that had like a special skill that they needed or whatever, then you could be granted a critical purpose visa, which is what I came in with. And for those of you that don't know, I am a nurse and that's how I was able to make the move during the pandemic. So yes, I arrived in August. At the time, there was no lockdown. And then we went into level 4 lockdown the day before I left MIQ, which was fun. Joking, it was like the worst period of my life. I hated lockdown. So anyway, following that, in September, I started my job. I then also moved into that horror apartment temporarily for a few weeks. And if you haven't seen that video, oh my God, please go and watch it. It was like the worst apartment ever. Like they had like bed bugs and all sorts. So that was like in September, but then luckily at the end of September, I was able to move into my amazing current place that I'm in right now. And then we go into October. Things were slowly starting to open up. The levels were going down. I think that's when I also made my first friend over here in New Zealand. And then going into November, it was just like more work, not much happening. And then December is when things opened up again. And we were able to go out and like bars and clubs were open and the Auckland border was open. So I was able to travel. I went to Rotorua, I went to Taupo for like a few days, which was really nice. I also did my first Christmas away from home, which as sad as it was actually really nice because I spent it with like my friends who are also here in New Zealand alone. So we got to like share that experience together. So that was December, and then January, I was just working. February is when I took like my first big trip. I went to Queenstown for 6 days and that was so nice. I went to see Milford Sound. I got to see Queenstown. I did like a helicopter ride. It was just amazing. It was gorgeous. The weather was stunning and I just absolutely loved it. And then going into March, back to normal life. April was my birthday. May, I moved job. I'll talk about that more in a short while. And now we're here up until June. So yes, that was just like a very brief overview of everything that's happened. So yes, now I'm gonna like focus on like specific things and update you on that. So the first thing I want to update you on is my visa. So like I said, I came in on a critical purpose visa, and that was just like a temporary entry visa that allows you to get into the country. And whilst you're here, you have to apply for a much longer term visa. So I got here and I applied for an essential skills working visa. But then pretty soon after, the government announced the 2021 residency visa, and it allowed like a whole bunch of people to be able to apply for residency. And that was like amazing. And I was eligible to apply for the residency visa, which was very lucky. And I feel like I was very fortunate to be able to get here so quickly and then be able to like apply for residency so quickly. I applied back in March. They said it can take anything like up to a year for like you to hear back. Some of my friends have heard back and they've gotten their applications approved, but I'm still waiting for mine. But yeah, I'm really excited to get my residency visa because what I really want to do above anything, which I know it's a bit sad, but I just really want to be eligible to save into KiwiSaver. If you don't know what KiwiSaver is, I am planning on doing a video on it in the future. But basically KiwiSaver is like a retirement thing system here where you save money into it, your employer puts in a little bit more money as well. And then what happens is you can withdraw the money either when you're ready to buy your first home or when you want to retire. I think I got that right. If I haven't, any New Zealanders out there, please correct me. So yeah, I really want to be able to do KiwiSaver because I haven't been paying into a pension pot since I arrived here, which is really not good. It's awful. It's not great at all. It's not great. It's not great financial planning, but I have been investing, but obviously I don't have the benefits of having like that employer contribution. So that's why I'm really excited for my residency to come so I can start investing into a pension plan. So the next life update is about work. So as I mentioned before, I am a nurse and I have made a video in which I spoke about my journey to like registering with the New Zealand Nursing Council and how much it all costs, etc. I will leave a link to that again up above, down below, wherever. Just look for the link. The job that I initially moved here for, like the employer that like flew me out, you know, I recently left that job and I've started a new job as of like 2 weeks ago. So I'm still working in a very similar area to what I was working in before, but it's like a whole different team and it is such a lovely place. Absolutely loved it. I think I felt like it was the right move for me to make at this time. There's a lot more opportunity for learning and development. And plus it's like closer to where I live. I'm saving money on fuel. So that is all things work. The next life update is about my living situation. So as you know, I live alone and I must say living alone is probably like the best thing I think I've ever done. And I have absolutely loved it. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to live with anyone else again because I like my own company. I like my own space. I like doing my own thing. Like for those people that live alone, like, do you feel the same? Like, do you feel like you'll never be able to live with anyone else again? Because that's exactly how I feel. The lease on this place runs out in a couple of months. And as great as the place is, I do want to move because I just want to get out the city. You know, I want to go into the suburbs. I want to be able to, you know, walk down the street and not, you know, run into like drunk people who are like back from a night out or whatever. And there's like a lot of like building and construction here, which is so annoying sometimes. Yeah, and I do want to move. So I'm going to start looking for new places, new flats, new rentals next month. And if that's a video that you'd like me to see, like, you know, how to look for a place to live in New Zealand, please let me know. Comment down below, give this video a thumbs up so that I know that that's something that you want to see. But yeah, the difficulty is that I'm looking for somewhere either equal to or cheaper than this place. But that's going to be very difficult to do because, you know, the cost of living has gone up. I think rents are going up. And for this style of flat, like the prices are just like extortionate right now. They are like way above what I'm willing to pay. So I might have to compromise, as in, you know, go for a smaller place or go into a house share. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see next month when I start house hunting. So the next life update is about money. So anyway, back in October, I did a video in which I spoke about my New Zealand money goals. These are the money goals that I wanted to achieve in my time here. Please go back and watch that as well. I've managed to achieve a lot of the goals that I wanted to. So for example, I now have a fully funded emergency fund and that actually took me way longer to achieve than I thought it would. It took me about 6 months. I had like other things to do. I had to like buy a car. I had like my residency visa, which cost like $2,000. Yeah, so all of those things just meant that it took a bit longer for me to fully fund my emergency fund. Also, when it comes to like investing, I'm still doing exactly the same thing, dollar cost averaging every 2 weeks. And obviously recently the markets have been going absolutely crazy. Everything has been down, but I've been buying even more and more, like literally just buying the dip because I just know it's not gonna like last forever and prices have to come back up again. It's just the nature of the stock market. The next life update is about friends and have I made any friends? And the answer is yes. I feel like I've made a handful of friends since I got here. I've got like 1 or 2 people who I feel like I'm really close to, who I feel like I can just like really open up with. And I've got like a wider group of friends who I feel like we can just go out and hang out and chill out, but they're just like great company, lovely people, like nonetheless. So yeah, I feel like I've made friends and I feel like a lot of my connections have been made through work. One of my closest friends, I met her on Facebook, on a Facebook group. I just like sent her a DM and then we just connected and we're really good friends. But as an adult, it is really hard to make friends because people are already like established, you know, in their friendship groups. So you'd have to have like something in common with people, or you have to like meet them in a club or work or whatever in order to like really have that connection. Pretty much, I'll say probably like 100% of all of the friends I've made are other like international people, as in, you know, they're all like, you know, recent immigrants that just came here. So I guess we're on the same page in terms of that. It's not easy, and you have to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to go out. You have to be willing to interact with people. And you know, and sometimes I don't even feel like leaving the house. Like sometimes I just like want to sit on the sofa and watch Netflix like all day. But I know I can't. And I know that if I want to like cultivate these relationships, I have to be active and I have to be social, which is not always easy. And I had to force myself to do it a few times, but it's been absolutely worthwhile. And I feel like I've got like a good bunch of people at the moment, which is really good. The next life update is about travel. So I've traveled to several places, but I haven't traveled to nearly as many places as I would have wanted to at this point. And I blame sort of being in lockdown for like my first 4 months here. So I've been to quite a number of places. I've been to, like I said, Rotorua, Taupo. I've been to the north, like last month, it was about 6 weeks ago. I did a big Northland road trip. I drove all the way from Auckland to Paihia and then drove to Cape Reinga, which is like the top of the North Island. And if you want to see like my pictures or be updated about my travels, I've got a specific travel page on Instagram. So follow me, it's Tembi Travels. I'll leave a link again. And I got to see like the giant sand dunes. I got to see the Bay of Islands. I went to the Treaty of Waitangi, and that was really nice. And like I mentioned before, I also did Queenstown, the South Island, Milford Sound earlier on in the year. And I've done a few like road trips, like day trips, you know, in between that, you know. In terms of international travel, am I leaving New Zealand and going back to England? The answer is yes. I'm gonna go back home later on this year because I miss my family. And as time has gone on, I feel like I'm becoming more and more like homesick. And I'm already sort of starting to feel the distance and sort of the little sort of aching thing, like that little ache in your little heart about like missing out on things. So I feel like I really do need to see my family. But the plan at the moment is to come back to New Zealand. So I'm not leaving New Zealand permanently. I am coming back. Well, I've applied for this residency visa. So it shows that I do want to stay. But I do need to see my family at the same time. Like I miss them so much. And in terms of like wider travel, guys, I have like a bucket list of places. I have a vision board, which has got like flags of all the countries I want to go to. And it's quite a lot of places. Next year is like a major year in terms of travel. There are 3 major countries I want to go to, and I don't want to like say what they are now because I'm still sort of in the planning process, but I'll let you know in due course. I think I'll probably do another like life update in a few months. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave them down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.